5th of September, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi, Seitze. Hello, Rabbi. How are you?
Hashem, very good. And yourself?
Baruch Hashem, doing very well.
Let's go. Just have to answer this phone just for a minute. Hello?
Yes.
Just with this W. Your card came.
I'm sorry, what?
Sure. Okay? Let's say that. I can't speak for long now. Okay. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. We have to pasuk good base. Okay.
Vesa el toch desecha vigilcha es rosha v'as sa es
Asesa.
the asesa. It's a shvana.
Yeah. It has to be whenever you have such two syllables of the same pronunciation next to each other. And one is a shva. The shva is a shvana.
V'asesa es tipar neha. So
Okay.
it means, and she shall.
V'havesa.
She shall bring.
No, you shall bring her.
You shall bring her el toch into the midst of your house.
Right.
And gilcha and shave her head.
She shall shave her head.
She shall shave her head. And
Let's translate it.
And let her nails grow.
Well, that's what it means. Actually, Rashi was going to explain. Literally means, and she shall make her nails.
Oh, she shall make.
She shall make her nails.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's see. Asesa es tiparneha, and she shall make her nails to gad lame, that they should grow. Or she should grow them. Kedei shetis na veil, that they would become repulsive.
Right. In order that she should be repulsive to her husband.
Now that's really bizarre because nowadays women grow their nails long to make them look good.
I understand. So obviously we're talking about that not without manicuring them. Obviously, just let them grow without shaping them or anything like that.
I see.
Or coloring them or whatever kind of shall we say any kind of form of manicure, form of manicure or anything like that. Okay, so on the contrary, that's exactly the point what she's saying. normally also Tzipor would imply that she's making them into the desired. The Mefarshim explain that how is it shaykh asiyah? If you let your nails grow, you're not really doing anything. You're just letting them grow. But you say the asiyah is to make them in the desired state as you want them.
Right.
Okay.
So that's the normal meaning, but this is not the normal meaning.
Yeah. So in other words, here it is because since the Torah wants them in this particular situation that her nails should look disgusting. How she should grow them to a state that they will not look pleasant. They won't look. They'll look. On the contrary, she'll. How do you say? She should look ugly in the eyes of her newer husband. Now, as I mentioned yesterday, the whole point is to take the edge off her physical beauty. Whereas there's nothing really. She's going to do things which are going to reduce her physical beauty in the eyes of this new husband of hers, and we'll see if he still likes her or not, if he still wants to remain married to her.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue. We'll see the same theme in the next pasuk.
Okay.
It's interesting that the order, just now, it's something which occurred to me now. The order of the way the Torah mentions it. Gilchais Rosha, okay, that I can understand. She straight away shaves her head, right? So her beautiful hair, which probably was done in a special form of hairdo or whatever, she's got to remove all her hair, baldy, okay?
Right.
Now, also says Tziporneho. Now, the Chayra also says Tziporneho will take at least, how should we say, at least a week or two to appear unpleasant.
At least.
I mean, assuming she had, what? At least.
At
right?
least. I mean, I cut my
Probably take at least a month.
Yeah.
Still take at least a month. I mean, I know for myself, whatever, I try to, normally after a week, my nails are not ready to cut yet because they haven't grown enough. For 2 weeks, let's cut them once every 2 weeks because then they grow enough. Let's say women are more particular, but certainly not more than once a week, right? And the male, we're talking about now that they're going to grow to a state that they look disgusting. So that takes at least 3-4 weeks.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. Okay. Okay, now the next thing the pasuk said, let's do the next pasuk.
V'hei sira es simlas shivya me leha v'yashva v'vesecha uvach sa es aviha v'es imah Yerach Yamim.
Yerach Yomim.
Yerach Yamim. V'achar kach. V'achar tavo eleha uve'alta v'haisa lecha leisha. So let's see, it means she shall remove the garment of her captivity from upon herself, and she shall sit in your house, and she shall weep for her father and her mother. Yerach Yamim is a month. Yerach, a month of days. And afterwards, you may come to her and have relations with her, and she shall be to you for a wife. So Rashi says, Vehesira es simlas shivya. She shall remove the garment of her captivity. Lefi shehem na'im. Because they are attractive. Shehagoyam.
Shagoyim,
that the nations, benosehem, their daughters, miskashtos, adorn themselves, b'milchama, in times of war, bishvil lehaznos acherim emahem, in order to lead others into lewd conduct with them.
Right.
V'yashva b'veisecha, and she shall sit in your house, b'bayis shemish tamesh bo, that he uses, nichnas v'niskal ba, he enters and he encounters her. Yotzei v'niskal ba, he leaves and he encounters her. Ro'eh bivchiyasa, he sees her while she is crying. Ro'eh b'nivula, he sees her in her defacement. Kidei shetisganeh alav, so that she will become disgusting to him.
Right. No, so she shouldn't. Again, it says to take the physical edge off the of her beauty. He knows the physical attraction to her. To take the edge off that. He shouldn't control, or he shouldn't concentrate on the physical attraction, because the Maisa, her physical beauty is what really attracted him to her.
Right. Uvach sa es aviha, and she shall weep for her father. Kol kach lama, why so much? Kidei shetehei bas Yisrael semecha, so that the Israelite woman should be joyful. Vizo atzeva bas Yisrael miskashetes, and this one is sad. The Israelite woman adorning herself, vizo misnaveles, and this one is becoming repulsive.
Right.
So the reason that it's a long time is in order to give the process time to work.
Right. So it's for 30 days, basically. Yerach Yom.
Right. I think that answers the issue you raised about the nails.
Right. Okay. The only thing is, it's interesting the order of where it's mentioned over here, because also says Tiponel will only that has to be the initial. That should be the initial process, right? Gilchas Rosha maybe. It's only subsequently Vasasai Siponel will happen later.
I'm not following what your point is here.
I'm also the Vasasai Siponel is only something which is going to happen with time. I mean, it's when he came. Let's assume she cut her nails before the battle when he took her in. Okay. So then, when is it going to be applicable? She's got, whereas when the time should come that she should be cutting her nails, and she's not. So
later,
in order of shall we say time in the timeline, also says Tiponeh is going to happen a lot later than the Sira Simlas Shivyom Aleh, which is something which is immediate.
Right. So you don't like the order.
Right. That's I didn't like it, didn't say that. I got a question about it. Yeah.
Right. I get it.
Okay.
Okay, so Yud Dalet?
Yeah.
V'haya im lo chafatzta ba.
By the way, and it's an interesting point that intermarriage, was obviously when the Jewish people were in Eretz Yisrael, it was never an issue. Meaning that there was no intermarriage between the local population and between the Jews and the local population. First of all, they had an obligation to wipe them all out, but Lamaisa, they didn't fulfill it properly and they left. Some of them and the original Canaanites who were left behind caused them tzoros, as the Torah prophesied. But anyway, but there was never an issue of intermarriage. However, when they went to Bavel, which was how long ago? They were only 70 years there. It became a real issue, as is mentioned in the Haftorah of Shabbos Chanukah. Okay, Kodesh Baruch Hu told Yeshua, who was Kohen Gadol, Hasiro es begodim hatzoim. Take off the soiled garments which are upon you. And the Chazal say what he's referring to, that his children married goitas, married non-Jewish women, which just seems seems a very strange thing. But in the present Golus, which I guess we're nearly up to 2,000 years, whatever, since being in this Golus as a result from the Romans. It was called Golus Edom. It was not till the emancipation period, right, that intermarriage, intermarriage became an issue. Even in Spain, the truth is, whenever there was an element of emancipation, then that's basically triggered assimilation. It happened somewhat before the expulsion from Spain. In Spain, there was intermarriage before the expulsion, and it happened in Germany. The advent of reform, the emancipation there brought about intermarriage. And it was basically all places where the reform movement began, which was basically in Germany and Hungary, right? That's where assimilation unfortunately became rampant. But otherwise, assimilation was not an issue, right? So it's interesting that after the first Golus, it almost became an issue straight away. And with the Golus over here, it took a very long time to develop. to become an issue. It's interesting because the Maisa, the concept of always the Jews remained with a certain contempt towards the Goy. Even when they were put into Golus, right, and they were subjugated by the Goyim, but there was always a contempt, and there was never a desire to intermingle with them, to assimilate with them, as a rule. After, as I was saying, until the time of the Reform period, that's something else. But it's just an interesting point. Okay.
Well, I think what happened in Bavel was that after a short period of persecution, the Jews were treated well. They were allowed to integrate into the society. So that's why.
Could be. I mean, basically, you're telling me wherever emancipation and freedom was allowed to the Jews, it did not really bade them well.
Right. Right. Yeah. So when we were exiled the second time, the persecution was much stronger. That's why it took such a longer time.
Right. Okay.
We're compared to eggs. The more you boil us, the harder we get.
Right. Okay. Let's see the next pasuk. Pasuk Dalet.
Okay, Yud Dalet. Let's see. V'haya im lo chafatzta ba v'shilachta lenafsha u'makor lo sim kerena.
Umachor lo sim kerena bakosek. Okay, it's not there's no dot in the chaf in the chor.
Umachor lo sim karena bakasef lo sis ameir ba tachas asher anisa
Inisa.
Inisa. Okay, so and if it will be that you will not desire her, then you will send her away on her own. You may not sell her for money. You shall not put her to work. Because she has been under your affliction.
No, so you see that the word inisa, it's interesting. It actually means in this sense, it means since you've had relations with her. The mitzvah of marriage is called oino.
Oh, inisa is relations?
Yeah, it comes from the same word. How do you say it? Those are the three basic obligations a man has to his wife, is to provide she'er, ksus, va'oina. She'er is food, ksus is clothing, and oina is marital relations. A man has an obligation to his wife that he has to be together with her at certain times. In other words, it's not just a man's prerogative, right? So there's an obligation. A man has an obligation to his wife. That's called mitzvahs oina. This, the pshat over here in the pasuk is because he has had relations with her as a husband and wife relations. He's had such a relationship with her. Therefore, he cannot just treat her as a slave. He's not allowed to use her as a slave because she was once his wife. That's basically it. Just saying. Tachas, because Asher Inisa, because he has had marital relations with her.
So you're translating tachas as because?
Yes.
Okay.
And I just want to know where my source is for that. I'll tell you in a minute. So Rashi doesn't say anything. Just 1 second. Where's the Rashbam? See the Rashbam right here. Don't have it. I have to check it out. I wrote it in my source over here in the Chumash. I wrote it source is the Rashbam. Hold on 1 minute. Let me go see it over here. Just 1 minute. Chapter 20. I'll have to look it up again too. I don't have a Rashbam right here in front of me, but I'll look it up with Nida tomorrow. I'll quote it for you. Okay. Anyway.
All right.
I mean, otherwise you have to understand what does it mean. I mean, if you, in what way has he afflicted her? I mean, because he made her make herself look ugly.
Well, I wouldn't think relations would be affliction.
No, on the contrary. So you often find in Hebrew, right, Lashon HaKodesh, that tell you where you had it. You have it actually in this week's Parsha later. You have a similar Lashon, somebody who seduces a woman. There's it. Yeah, I refer you to the end of chapter 22.
22.
Chapter 22, Pasuk 28. Pasuk 28 and 29.
Okay, 22, 23, 24, 20, 20, oh, oops, too far. 22,
Pasuk 28.
22, 28. 22, 28. Okay, so let's see, 28. Ki yimtza ish na'ara besula. If a man finds a na'ara is a young girl,
Yes, Sula,
and
virgin.
besula is between the age of 12 and 12 and a half.
Nara is between the age of 12 and 12 and a half.
Uh-huh. And what's
Okay, but
besula?
the din applies to even if an older girl, we'll see. Okay, but this din applies is because the money goes to the father. Anyway, ish nara besula. A man finds a virgin young woman, let's say call her. Hashaloy Rosa, she has not been betrothed, meaning she's not married to somebody else. She's single. Usfasa, and he grabs her, literally. Veshochav ima, and he lays with her. Vinim tso, and they are found, which means there are witnesses to this, to the fact. Okay, so basically a man basically forces a woman, a young girl, to have relations with him. Okay, it's by force. Usfasa, he grabs her. Okay. The man who lies with her shall give to the father of the young girl 50 silver coins, which basically works out to be manzus. Okay?
It works out to be what?
200 zuz.
200.
Okay?
Okay.
And she must be married to him, meaning if the woman desires, he must marry her. Tachas asheno, because he has. Now, the question what this word means, ino. Okay?
Right.
So
It's the same word. It's relations.
Again, or it could be that he forced relations. He afflicted her.
Right. That seems to be the case.
So here again, it says, Rashi doesn't say anything, but it says, that's how I translate, because he had intimate relations with her. Meaning, he's caused a situation that she is now embarrassed to marry somebody else, because she's no longer a virgin. So therefore, she insists that this man should marry her, because he's the one who caused the problem. And if this is obviously, the Gemara says it's dependent on her. If she doesn't want to marry him, then she's not forced to.
Right.
Okay. But anyway, the point is because he had intimate relations with her, and now he has caused her not long to be longer a virgin, then she can insist that he should marry her. Lo yuchal shalcha kol yomov. He's not allowed to divorce her as long as he's alive, in his entire lifetime.
So we're translating basula as a virgin?
Yes. And she still has her, what they call hymen. That's the official word for it.
So this is a very complicated case.
I mean, it's basically, I don't know what's complicated. It's a simple case of rape on an unmarried girl.
Who is a virgin?
Doesn't matter. I mean, she's never been married before, correct?
Well, if she's not a virgin, then that changes her desirability as a wife.
Right, and that's why she can insist that he should marry her.
Right. So that's what I mean when I say the Torah has introduced this complexity into the situation by saying basula. You could have just said,
If
Ish
she's not a
Nara.
basula, no, because I tell you why. Because if she's not a basula for whatever reason, right, then she's got no taina. What taina should she have that he has to marry her? He hasn't really changed her, should we say, her desirability status for marriage. She wasn't a virgin before, and now she's not a virgin now. But if she was a virgin before, she was a virgin, and now she's not a virgin as a result of this man's act.
Right. So you're saying that's why in this case they translate Ina as afflicted.
So it could be. I actually translated it because he had intimate relations with her.
Right. That would seem to be more appropriate.
Right. Yeah, they seem the same words. The grammatical conjugation, I mean, the grammatical root of the word ina and inisa are the same. What I'm pointing to is that both have a dogish in the nun.
Right. And that makes it refer to her?
No, it makes it refer to having marital relations as opposed to affliction. Where else do you have a case of process of affliction?
Oh, I see.
By what's it? In the beginning of Shmois. Let me look it up over here. Where did I look it up now? I went out of it. Did I go out of it? I'm just going to it again.
Very interesting.
There's, yeah, in the beginning of Shmois, that the Egyptians afflicted that's the expression over here. No, actually, we actually have it in Parshas Kisovo. It doesn't mention in the Shmois. It doesn't actually mention the Rashi Inui, but in Parshas Kisovo, which we say the psukim which we say in the Haggadah. Oops. So, yeah, it's also with a dogish. Vayoreo son hamitzim vaya anunu. Yeah. I don't know. I have to look into this actually. Okay. We have to, time is up. We'll have to carry on tomorrow. B'ezras Hashem.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Have a good day.
You too.
Right. So we have to do the Rashi on Pasuk Midale. We didn't do that yet. Okay? Very
Right.
good. Great day.
All right.
Say that.
Take care.
Bye-bye.